Yay Networks.
Hello.
Hi.
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 This is Emily.
And this is Laura.
And this is
Cheers to that shit.
I got to tell you.
I'm psyched.
I'm
psyched, pumped,
fucking pumped.
Today, this is like right in my wheelhouse.
I know. I'm so excited. So we're just going to jump right into today.
Yeah,
we have an amazing guest, Garrison with Brit podcast.
Yeah.
She is
our first collab.
Yeah. So
number one.
Yeah. She does numerology, astrology.
Yeah.
She's going to do a tarot card reading on us and kind of
and like our whole analyze like our birth chart and all of that stuff,
so
our signs.
It's going to be a fun crossover, part 1, part 2. So that will be on her podcast, which is Garrison with Brit podcast. And you can find her at Brit Madrid on Instagram.
Yeah.
Make sure that you head over there to listen to our reading.
Yeah.
And get to know us a little bit better. Ooh la la.
And what makes this magic happen.
Why Laura and I are so good together, honestly.
We're so compatible.
So she's going to do a reading on us, and that'll be over on her podcast.
Yeah.
And then we're going to ask her some questions about couples and what makes couples work together, and, what time of year is best to get married.
Yeah. Or even like picking your wedding date.
Yes.
How that works with astrology.
Yeah.
I am really excited about that because I think we may be on to something with this.
Oh, I know we are on something with this.
100%.
It's going to be fantastic. If you guys have any stories that you have done with astrology, or if you feel drawn to a certain time of year, or you and your fiance or your partner, your spouse, y'all have something kind of big, kismet, whatever, let us know. Or if you've gone to a tarot card reader and you've had that done at your wedding or something, let us know. Send us this.
That would be fun to do.
I know that would be so fun to do.
Oh my gosh.
Send us those stories at stories@cheerstothatshit.com. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Cheers to That Shit Podcast. Watch us on YouTube. And definitely, again, send us those stories. You can click the link in our bio on Instagram or just email us directly.
Yeah. So, let's get to it
jump
then.
in. We are with Brit from Garrison TV, right? The podcast, did I say it right? Okay.
So Garrison TV is the talk show that I produce and host in Dallas that airs on ABC in the DFW area. And then my podcast is Garrison with Brit. So
with Brit. Okay.
Two kind of similar vibes going on though.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your podcast.
Yeah.
So on my podcast, I have wonderful guests like you guys. And I talk to people about, everything mind, body, soul. We have authors, thought leaders, business professionals, and then we have celebrities on to talk about things like their birth charts and tarot. We do readings. I talk about all things like spiritual and cosmic. So if you've ever, kind of wanted to get more into like astrology or numerology or tarot, it's a really fun, like introductory way to just kind of like learn some stuff you can use. You know what I mean? Like we don't go super deep into it.
Yeah.
So I got into it. I really just loved it my whole life, to be honest with you, ever since I can remember. And I got a degree in philosophy. And actually, when it comes to like numerology, I was trying to remember, like, how did I ever get into it at first? Well, Pythagoras, the Greek philosopher, he created, the Pythagorean theorem, heard of that in math. But he also created this system of numbers, which is now what we base modern day numerology on. And it's this idea that every number has a vibration. And it just made sense to me. And so it kind of came from the philosophy of it. And then I started reading, and then I got more into numerology, then came astrology, then came tarot. And now I got my whole bag of tools. And so I love it. Yeah. I've been doing it for so long, and it's just one of those things. I have a Jupiter in Pisces, which I've been told is a very psychic placement in my birth chart.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I just can kind of feel things, and I always have been able to kind of empathize and feel other people's emotions. And I try to give people something that's going to uplift them and like help push them forward on their path. So that's why I do it. And I love it.
That's a great way to be.
Yes. Well, we just did a reading with you over on your podcast. So everyone needs to go over there and listen to that part. But we have some questions for you based on just like couples, kind of like in general, like compatibility, times of year when things are supposed to kind of happen. So I think the first thing that most couples kind of wonder who are into astrology and numerology and all of that are, what are the most compatible signs? Like what signs are compatible? What gives that flame of love?
Flame of love. Well, I love this question. And if anybody, you know, after people listen to the reading that I gave you guys, this will make more sense to them. But basically, like whatever your sign is, you know, I really go with like the full birth chart. So like your sun, moon, rising, your Venus, your Mars. Now on a compatibility level, like on the outside, I would say people of the same like sign family. So like water signs and water signs, fire signs and fire signs. That's like a natural compatibility, right? You're just going to kind of click with those people. And that's on a very surface level, like, you know, maybe at work, two Virgos meet each other. They're like, hey, you know, they're friends, hang out. But when it comes to like love and relationships and any really close relationship, kind of like what we did with you guys, there's a reason and a purpose. So sometimes people who might not seem compatible on paper, once you really get into their birth chart, you're like, oh, wow. Okay. They're not like compatible on the surface, but they're actually bringing a lot to each other and helping each other grow. Yeah. So that's kind of like why we're all here. That's the purpose. So when it comes to people's like compatibility, I like to say, you know, look at your sign, look at your partner's sign. And if you want to dive deeper into it, which I highly recommend, you know, learn about your Venus sign, learn about your Mars sign, and really ask yourself, like, what are the things that I want to work on in myself? And I, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see that that's where the other person either triggers you or supports you in some way. Yeah. We attract people that touch on those points in us.
So. Yeah. So it's kind of like supporting each other through the areas where you both need improvement and lifting each other up and creating a good union together. Yeah.
I will say, so
that's
I'm
amazing.
A Cancer. My husband is a Scorpio. And I
classic compatibility right there.
Definitely bring out, like, he knows how to push my buttons more than anybody on the, and I swear there are some days I'm like, I swear to God, I'm going to kill you. Like, this is going to, like, you don't, today's the day. I'll turn myself in. I will call them. I will let them know, but like, motherfucker, you're about to push me to the edge. And then there are other days where he, like, I mean, most days I'm not giving enough credit, but like, he is like that strength, that pillar that like I just can't bring to the table.
When's his birthday?
He's a Halloween baby.
Oh, that's right. See, Dom.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, I think Dom's a Libra. Yeah, I've never even looked. I mean, I
feel like I don't know his sign.
I don't even know his birthday. When is his birthday? I can tell you his.
Oh, my husband. October 17th.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, I think he's a Libra. Isn't that the scales?
Yes, that is the scales.
Yeah.
So
I never even.
Yeah, he's a Libra. I have my little chart right here.
Yeah, he is. You don't need to go in further. I know.
So we've been married for 31 years, so it might be too late to say that we're not compatible. So maybe
no, you are. Tips.
We're classically compatible.
I'm married to a Libra also. They make great partners. They make great husbands, great wives, because Libra is the sign of partnership. So it's like their natural state.
Oh, well, that makes so much sense.
They're partners. Like that's what they want. But it's funny that you say, so you have like a Cancer sun. He has a Scorpio sun. That would be an example of a classic compatibility, because you guys both have that water sign energy. So even on like a surface level, without looking into your birth charts anymore, I would say probably when you met, it was like an instant click.
Yeah. Huh.
Did you feel like that? Like you just kind of got each other?
Yeah. It was like, I mean, like pretty much. Yeah. It was very much like that, drawn to like, all right, magnets.
Yeah. Mine was kind of a love at first sight.
Mine wasn't love at first sight, but it was definitely like a strong attraction. Like it was like a very much drawn to each other.
I actually told my friend I'm going to marry that guy.
Oh, I did not.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is so sweet.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is.
Crazy.
So sweet.
You're like, I'm marrying him. Done. That's it. I'm not looking any further. We're not going any further into it.
Yeah.
Him.
I believe in that. Sometimes you just know. And what's interesting is I married my Libra husband, but it was like 10 years after we met. But I remember when I first met him, I thought that's the kind of person I would like to marry. Like that was in my head. I remembered it was like stamped on my brain, and then I moved on with life, and then we got married. So I wonder if it's something about
so y'all met and then like moved,
and then we life took us in different directions, and then
drawn back together.
Yeah, we never dated the first time that we met. I was moving to Dallas. He was living here in Kansas City. Long story short, but like life, fate, love, I don't know. Like it all kind of aligned, and we just kind of knew like right away. So I wonder if it's something with Libra men. Like maybe you just know if one of them's your partner. I don't know. They give off the signal.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
I'm sorry. I need to know what your sign is before we can,
I can't talk to you anymore.
No, I'm going to need to know their sign, their birth time. You're going to have to send it to me. I'll calculate it all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Really creepy. You're like, what's your birth time too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we should definitely do that. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question that we have is, what is the best and worst time of year or time to get married?
Okay. Interesting. So every single season, just like I'm talking like zodiac sign season, every single season has like certain characteristics that are reflected by that zodiac sign. So I would say it really depends on what you want the energy of your connection to be. So let's just like use Leo for an example. Okay. So let's say you're planning a wedding between July 23rd to August 22nd. That would be during Leo season. So that means that the energy that is just going to be infused into that relationship, because the birthday of the marriage would be considered a Leo. And we kind of talked about this when we talked about your birth charts and how there's each separate person. And then there's like this third energy that's born, if you will. So the marriage that's born, the connection that's born on the day of your wedding. So you would have Leo energy, and depending on what you want out of your marriage and depending on your own, sign and all the things going on in your birth chart, that is going to have significance. So if I am someone who loves
oh my God, this is so cool. We could be starting a whole new wedding trend.
Yeah. You guys, I think people need to know this stuff 1000%.
Yes. So let's say, what did you say that Ryan was? I mean, that Dom was?
Libra.
We got married the day before Dom's birthday. So we got married in a Libra season. Okay.
Yeah, I got married in whatever May is. I'm guessing Taurus, maybe.
May. So that would be, if it was May 21st to June 20th, that would be Gemini.
Yes. Oh, Gemini. Okay.
So you have a Gemini energy marriage. And then, Emily, what was yours? What did you say?
Libra.
Okay. So let's use you guys as an example then.
Okay. Yeah.
So a Gemini energy marriage is a marriage that produces the energy of like great friendship. Gemini is all about communication. Gemini rules the third house. The third house rules like siblings, neighbors, friends. So that's an energy where you guys, for the long haul, will always have a really great friendship. Your communication will flow. You'll always be able to relate to one another, especially like, let's say you're having a conflict. If you just relate to each other as friends on a friend level, you'll always be able to sort things out.
That's so interesting.
You feel like that's true?
Yeah. And I do, because we started a business together when we were 27. And so we've been business partners, worked together every single
the twins
work together, been in each other's presence every single day, and of course, when you're running your own business, it's 24/7. We all know that. There's no 9 to 5. So I feel like most of our adult life, or all of our adult life, I guess, really has been set in that parameter, which would make us like friends.
Yeah. Literally within the last like 2 or 3 months is the first time in their entire marriage that they have worked separately.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so we're kind of learning a whole new way of existing together, like not talking. I mean, and it's two different industries. So we're not talking about the same thing. We're not with each other all day anymore. So yeah, it's been a big learning moment for us, but that makes so much sense because
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just probably like a new era for you guys then, because so there's like, I looked up some celebrity couples that have had like the longest marriages in Hollywood. And interestingly enough, Dolly Parton and her husband, Carl Dean, who have been married for 56 years, have a Gemini energy marriage because they got married on May 30th, 1966.
So what is that, like 4 days apart? 5 days?
Yeah. 4 days.
So, that's your marriage. Those are your marriage twins. So basically,
there you go.
If we look at their marriage, like the reason I think that the Gemini energy has been so good for them is because they've both been able to have like their freedom, creativity. 3 is also the number of creativity, a friendship, and joy. So really great. So see how it's like, it's so hard to say like what's bad and good in astrology. It's just like, what do you want? Like what?
No, and I love that because I think, that's something that we have to incorporate into like part of our, journey on this new venture, and how we educate couples that's just so
I can be your
cool.
consultant.
Oh my God. Yes. No, we're going to have you come out because I think and you said too, like that it's like the season that you're getting married. So, for Ryan and I, because I've never married anyone else. That's the only thing. So like I'm a Cancer, he's a Scorpio, but our marriage is a Libra.
Yeah.
I love that you said marriage birthday. I love that because it's like we talked about, I think on a past episode, like having you as a person, you have to fill your love cup, personal cup, before you can fill your relationship cup.
Yeah.
And that's so interesting to think of
like a life thing.
But I know, but like if you think of it in like a, like for me as a Cancer, I fill my cup differently than Ryan would as a Scorpio, but our marriage is a Libra.
Right.
So that would be filled differently.
You have to pour into that cup from your 2 cups.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's so, I've just never thought about it.
Me neither.
In that situation. I love this. Okay. So marriage birthday in the certain season.
You have an identity, Ryan has an identity, but together your marriage has an identity and needs to serve that sign as well.
And focusing on the positive qualities of that marriage sign together can actually strengthen your marriage, bring you closer. So let's talk about the Libra marriage. So people who get married during Libra season have a Libra energy marriage, and that is the natural marriage sign because Libra rules the 7th house of partnership in astrology. So like you guys, that would be kind of similar to the Gemini twins. There's this partnership element of the 2 of you always together. It is very romantic. So Libra energy is like very romantic. There needs to be an emphasis on like harmony, beauty, again, romance, harmony, beauty. Like what you guys bring into each other's lives is this Libran energy of, it's like a fairy tale romance. I mean, that's really the best way to put it. It's like you guys are meant to bring each other that loving fairy tale energy in your marriage. And so if things ever feel off track, for you guys going on, having like a special getaway or like a special dinner or remembering what makes you guys great partners is like a really good way to get closer together. Whereas with a Gemini marriage, it's communication. You got to just communicate better. Right. So it's like, there are all these little, ways to get to know your marriage.
Yeah. This is so cool.
The next question that we have is, how do you know if you should trust your intuition with a certain person? Like, are there certain signs or certain feelings that you get with your intuition, or how can you like kind of like look inside yourself inward? Yes.
Sometimes it's hard to know. You get a gut feeling, and sometimes it's hard to know.
Like, is that like a intrusive thought? Am I second guessing? Like, are there ways to kind of have that cleansing?
Interesting.
Okay, this is how I need to move forward with this relationship.
When it comes to like, if someone's right for you, or when it comes to, should I get engaged to this person? Or like, what do you mean?
I would say if someone's right for you, because you're hoping if someone's right for you, you're moving towards that,
the
engagement partnership. Yeah.
Well, I would say really it's a matter of like, does this person give me a sense of peace, or does this person give me a sense of like anxiety that can sometimes feel like passion. I really think the difference in like a soulmate and possibly like, someone who is a karmic lesson meant to like teach you something.
I love that.
Karmic connections, a lot of the time, those are the ones that we might feel a great deal of intensity, and we might think that that means that this is the person for us. But those can be the people that, we're reading a bunch of books about because we're trying to figure out like what's going on with me, or, or we're going to a therapist and talking about them a lot, or we're asking all of our friends about them, or we're wondering, does this mean like, did he not call me? Because it's like these people who, and a lot of the time we just think like, oh, that's just relationships, right? And sometimes it is. And I definitely think we can't skip steps. Like, I think we're meant to have a lot of these karmic relationships so that we are, inspired to read the books, to look inward, to get to know ourselves in different ways and to find our worth and all of that good stuff.
Yes.
But I would say when it comes to like your forever partner and making a marriage commitment or becoming serious with someone and, being able to see a future with them, I would say it's not the person that brings up all that stuff in you. It's the person that you feel safe and really like more often than not safe, joyful, and like you can fully be yourself. And that can take a little bit of time to find.
Yeah.
But it is so worth it. That's really what I feel.
I think some of those intuitive, maybe karmic relationships, they come up right away, I feel like.
Like when it comes to numerology, if you really want to, like, so I did this for my wedding. I got married on the 15th because in numerology, you look at the day and you want to get the energy of that day by reducing it down to one digit. So basically just take 1 + 5, and that's 6. So the 15th in numerology has a 6 energy, which is harmony, love, family. Like, so you can also look at the actual day, because I did have an option. I could get married. It was the 15th or the 15th or the 16th or
oh God,
I forgot. But one of the days would have worked a little better because I'd have had like an extra day to like get settled and, like at, in my room and stuff. And I was like, nope, take the earlier day because I wanted the 6 energy. I was like, I don't care.
7 energy?
Or one of them. Wait, what?
7 energy?
7 energy is like very spiritual. 7 energy is like a spiritual. Did you get married on the 7th?
We got married on the 16th.
On the 16th? Okay. So for you, you would have a 7 energy Libra marriage. So that means that you definitely have the Libra partnership energy. But what's interesting is that you guys also have an element of 7 is like it's like like someone who studies a lot. This sounds kind of weird, but it's like one of the most spiritual numbers. So a 7 is like someone who like studies a lot and sometimes is like very spiritual, on a spiritual path, the scholar. So there will be times when your partnership will probably involve you guys also needing solo time. So there's going to be a big balance between solo time, because 7 is really more of a solitary, almost like a lone wolf kind of number.
Okay.
But you guys do have that Libran energy. So it's a 7 energy Libra. So that just means you might have a little more separate time than other Libra marriages, which is healthy for you guys. Cause it's,
I feel that. Yeah. Okay.
You're going to have to, I know we have questions for you, but I'm going to have to ask you about numbers because
go for it. I love this. Like I live for this.
I have a recurring number in my life.
Okay.
And I'm just curious if
I do too.
Your angel number, probably.
Yeah. If from the information that we gave you, if you can identify that or have any idea.
I don't think I could guess your angel number because it would probably be if you have a recurring number. Okay. So the way I think about repeating numbers is like it's like your angel number. So depending on where you're at in your life, I actually did a podcast episode about this, where you're at in your life, you can sometimes see these repeating numbers as a sign. And it's usually a message from your angel guides. And it's to bring your attention to something very specific. So I would say that is like so very personal that I can't really get like a hit on that intuitively.
Right. If I told you the number, could you tell me?
If you want to tell me, I can tell you what it means.
Yeah. So the number.
You're so secretive.
Well, no, I just, I wanted to,
see.
Yeah. So it's the number 3.
That's so weird. Cause okay. Well, it doesn't matter. I was thinking about 3, but it doesn't matter. Okay. So do you see 3 repeating or do you just see the number 3 by itself?
It's repeating. It's
like 333.
I see that a lot. But it's like in other dates. I'll probably sound like a freak if I tell you all the things, but like many of my family's birthdays are on the 3rd, or death dates are on the 3rd, or I am one of 3. I have 3 boys, just things like that.
Well, and even the example I just gave you of Dolly Parton and Carl Dean, they were married on the 30th. So 3 energy is all about joyful abundance. So I would say, and it's also about creativity. So I would say that there is a theme then in your family, if we look at our families as like having these like lessons and things we pass down to one another, good and bad, you could say that maybe it's part of your destiny to learn to embrace more 3 energy. And you said that your parents went through like the Great Depression, and with your Scorpio South node, I would say that you are actually healing your family line by embracing, I think it would be your family destiny of experiencing joy, creativity, and abundance, which sometimes people can't experience that if they live in an era where, it's like you can't be creative because you're trying to feed your family.
Right.
So maybe you have the unique opportunity of fulfilling that legacy for your family. So I would say being creative and enjoying it and being grateful for that is a really good way to honor your family, since that's like a family number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never gotten my number done, but I would be shocked if it wasn't 13, because that number repeats in my life.
Yeah.
And I would be shocked if it wasn't.
You
13.
Actually, wasn't your birth time like 11:31?
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's 13 backwards.
11:31. Ryan's birthday is on the 31st.
Yeah, because I'm a freak like that.
My girl's birthday is on the 12th and the 1st, 1 + 12.
Yeah.
My brother's is the 26th, which is 13 + 13.
Yeah.
My mom's birthday is on the 13th.
Yeah.
My parents live at 1313.
Yeah, that's exactly how my life is with 3.
Like Ryan's tall number for his fraternity was 1301. Like I would be if my number was not 13.
Yeah.
I know that.
Well, maybe it's not like Brit said, maybe it's not so much about that's your number, but you're drawing from the energy of that number.
Which I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, because I know people look at 13 and they're like, oh boy.
Yeah. No, I think so. 13 is just basically, that's just the energy of 4. So that's the energy of like hardworking, building a foundation. Also, you were born on the 14th, right?
13th.
Oh, sorry, 13th.
Yes.
So you have a 4 energy personality. So that number reminds you also of like your really like your personality, like what makes you unique and what you bring to the world. So you are meant to have that 4 energy.
Okay.
Yeah, my birthday 21/3, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
Yeah. It's really interesting when you see it kind of all come together. And whenever you do see that number, usually it's a sign to channel that vibe. So let's say you're really stressed out and you're like, let's say you're thinking about something and you're stressing out, and then you see the number 3, that would be a reminder to like step back and like, how can I be more creative about this? How can I, do something that helps me to relax? How can I get into a state of gratitude? It's like a reminder, like, how can I be more creative and like enjoy this? Let my inner child out. Like maybe I'm being too hard on myself. And when you see 13, or when you see the number 4, that would be a reminder of your focus to continue to focus, continue to build.
Yeah, it's a great way to self-reflect and kind of meditate.
Mm-hmm. It's good to journal when you see your numbers also, because it can kind of help you to just tap into like your subconscious, where you're going, set your goals. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be great things for couples to do too. Like once they have, maybe they've chosen a wedding date based on venue availability or anything like that, or maybe they've chosen a wedding date, through astrology or, numerology, things like that, to really kind of focus on the energy that surrounds that number.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a couple more questions. Why do people continue to think about former loves?
Ooh, interesting. Well, I think that it has to do with, we talked about like the karmic relationship thing, and how a lot of the times those relationships will bring up our wounds, or will be like, how do I fix this about myself? It's like karmic relationships bring up a lot of energy for people because it's like your sensitive points. It's not something that makes you necessarily feel safe. It's like it gives you almost like an adrenaline high.
Oh, okay.
And then the relationship that's really meant for you, your partner, I believe, that your soulmate, that you're meant to live this life with, that person is going to make you feel safe and secure. So sometimes it could be like having an addiction to, some of the chaos, or it's almost like we have to remember the grass is greener where you water it. It's a lot of the time people will idealize these past relationships because they don't really want to do the work that's in front of them in this relationship, because our real soulmate relationship isn't necessarily going to be easy breezy all the time. Right. And we live in a world, it's like Instagram, or you could just like go look at a cute outfit, or you can order something to show up tomorrow. It's like, we're not necessarily in a place where we realize, hey, I got to put in the work. I've got to really water this plant. I don't need to just replace things. So I think that comes from just a little bit of, it can be kind of like emotional immaturity, that we have to remember that good things take time. Sometimes good things are difficult. That's why they're worthwhile, So if anybody's thinking about a past love, I'm definitely not judging in any way. It's just, I would say, ask yourself what it is about that person that you really miss. Why did you break up with that person? Why did it end? And I would say really think about that, really do a little bit of journaling and see what in you maybe you're missing. Like, let's say, oh, it used to be so exciting. Okay. Well, how can I make my life exciting now? How can I bring more excitement to my relationship now? Because chances are you broke up for a reason. That was a karmic lesson. You already learned it. You don't need to go back and learn it again.
Yeah.
So that's a whole thing.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole can of worms, right?
That's good advice, though. I mean, that's very deep, because I'm sure as couples are, forging towards these, in these long relationships, getting ready to be engaged or thinking about getting engaged. I'm sure. Yeah.
Change of anything. You start thinking about.
For sure.
Well, you always, I think intuitively you're kind of wired to question. Things in life.
So the opposite of that, how can people become more confident in their love and in their relationship that they are in now?
I love that. Well, I would say look at your Venus sign and your Mars sign in your own birth chart. Okay. And you can do that by like creating a birth chart online, like a free one. There's this website I like to go to all the time. It's astro-charts.com.
Okay.
Type in your info, type in their info, and look at your Venus sign, look at your Mars sign, and really see like how that other person brings that stuff out in you. Because they're like, let's say your Venus sign is in Libra and this person is your partner. Just remind yourself of like all the ways that they fulfill that for you, that Libra need of partnership, that Libra need for romance and beauty. And if you're not feeling like you have it right now, take that as like your responsibility to bring your Venus energy to the relationship. So like, how can I be more romantic? I always like to say, look at the Venus and Mars, because that is what's going to help you to strengthen the relationship. It's what makes you sexy. It's what like draws people together. So yeah, I would look at that. And then also just remember, on like a more basic note, just try to remember what that person has brought into your life, because
I love that.
You're there for a reason,
Right.
Yeah. I'm like going to get emotional, but it's just, it's so easy to forget when we get busy, when we get stressed out. It's like we sort of demote that person. We can demote our significant other, and we forget just how wonderful they are. And like, we forget to think, what would I do without them? So I would say just reflect on what you really have with this person and strengthen that, value it.
Yeah, I think that's that's such great advice as somebody who's been married for 31 years. You forget what attracted you to them initially.
Lit the spark initially.
Yeah. And then, as you grow in this life, not only are you growing older and wiser, but you're traveling down these career paths and these work paths, and you're raising children, and you have your outside families that you're dealing with and what comes along with that. So we're all growing and moving, in separate directions, but kind of together on the same path, but separately, if you will. So I think that's just really good advice on how to stay connected, and that it is work. Yeah. It is work.
Yeah. Love this. This has been absolutely amazing.
Yes. Very enlightening.
I've enjoyed it.
I'm like, I don't even have words.
I don't either. I'm absorbing.
Yes, I have to.
I do know that I'm going to make it my life's mission to meet Dolly Parton and eat 3 pieces of cheesecake.
Okay. I love that. Can I come too? Because I have Dolly Parton's mug right here.
Oh my God.
Find out who you are and do it on purpose. I also love Dolly Parton. Let's go together.
Yes. Dolly World. Yes. We'll plan that trip.
That's my to meet her.
Yes. Well, Brit, if you can give a shout out where people can find you.
Yes. So I have a podcast called Be Zen with Brit. It's also a Yay Networks podcast. And you guys can find it wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can find me on Instagram at Brit Madrid or at Be Zen TV.
Perfect. This has been absolutely wonderful. We had such a good time.
I've loved it.
Very enlightening. I feel like we were supposed to have this episode happen, this like crossover happen at exactly this perfect time. This has really been amazing.
Me too.
Likewise. Thank you guys.
Yes. Thank you so much,
Brit, and for affirming all this good stuff too. Appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll have to connect in the future for sure.
Yes. Would love to.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.